what we've been doing is multiplying things out. So we have two sets of brackets or one set of brackets. We would multiply the 2x in, so we get 2x squared plus 10x. You have two sets of brackets. You would use FOIL or the distributive property. You'd end up with x squared plus 4x plus 3. And this final one would be a difference of squares, x squared minus 25. All right, that's expanding. Now, factoring is going from this to that. You want to create brackets when you factor. It is one of the most important things you can learn in math. Okay? If you don't know how to factor, you cannot do math 11, math 12, or anything beyond. It's used in almost, I don't say every question, but it's used a lot. Okay? So that's what we're going to look at starting today and tomorrow. There's a bunch of different types of factoring. We're going to start with the simplest one, which is the greatest common factor. So we're going to go to the next page, please. Page 182. And just give me 1 sec here. Okay. So page 182. No, I'm gonna scroll. Okay, here we go. Greatest common factor. So I think it's probably easiest if we just look at this. So go to the bottom of the page, please. When you're doing the greatest common factor, I know we did that stuff with the trees. Okay, we're not going to do it that way. All right, when we get into this kind of stuff. So let's look at the numbers. We have these two sets of terms, 12ab, 15a squared b cubed. Looking at 12 and 15, what is the largest factor that they both have? 3, right? 3 goes into 12, 3 goes into 15. That's one of your greatest common factors, 3. Then we have to look at the variables as well. So we have 1a, and this means we have 2a's, right? A squared means we'd have 2a's. So it means like, let's go. This is AB. This one is A times A, B times B. When you're looking at variables, you basically take out the smallest exponent. Okay, so what is the exponent on the A here? If it's not written, it's a 1, right? This one is a 2. So we're going to take out an A1, right? Take out the smallest exponent. I'll write this down in a sec. When you look at the B's, what's the smallest exponent between B1, B3? B1. So you're going to take out a B1. This is the greatest common factor for those two terms. Okay? That's, well, for now, that's all we're doing. We'll do other stuff. So let's, the summary. When you're doing take out largest number, you can take out smallest exponent for variables. So let's look at B here. I'll wait till you copy that down, actually. No, that doesn't totally make sense right now, especially the exponent thing, but when we start practicing this, it'll start to make sense. All right, B, 18 and 20, negative 24. Forget the negative, just look at the 18 and the 24. What's the largest number that goes into 18 and 24? 6, right? 6 goes into 18 3 times, 6 goes into 24 4 times. So 6. Then you look at the variables. X4, x cubed. What's the smallest exponent? X cubed. Y2, Y5. That's your greatest common factor for those two terms. If you have 3 terms, actually, let's do C first. What number's in front of the A cubed if no number's written? 1. What goes into both 1 and 2? 1. So you don't even have to write anything, okay? You can write 1 if you want, but it's up to you. I'll put 1 just for this question. A cubed and A to the power of 1. What am I taking out? A to the power of 1.
Good morning, Royal Bay. I hope you're having a wonderful Wednesday.
7 minutes before break. Okay. So we took out an A. We have a B here, but there's no B over there. So can you take out a, is there a B that's in both? No, so you just ignore it. You could write B0 if you wanted, but what does B0 mean? 1, nothing, right? So if it's not in both, you can't take it out. C squared, C7. C squared. It wouldn't normally be written like that. They would normally write it as AC squared, but same thing. Okay, final one here. D. What's the largest number that can be taken out of negative 40, negative 20, negative 10? 10. You could put negative 10 if you wanted. I'm not too fussed about the negatives here. But negative 10 goes into all of them, as does 10. What about the A's? What can I take out for an A? A squared, because that's the largest or the smallest. What about B's? You could do that. I would give you that for full marks, or you could write this. You could do the negative as well, okay? Because negative goes into all of them. Okay, the only question I want you to do is number 3. That'll take us up to break. On the other side of break, if I have this polynomial here, 21x plus 14y. Between 21 and 14, what is the largest or the greatest common factor? 7. 7 goes outside the brackets, okay? What remains in the brackets is what you get when you divide each of these numbers by 7, okay? So if I divide 21 by 7, I get 3. If I divide 14 by 7, I get 2. Does that make sense? Because if you multiply the 7 back in, if I went like this, I would get that. Okay? These are the same thing, we're just rewriting them in different forms. So if I have, looking at B, 5, 15, and 5, what's the greatest common factor? 5. 5 goes on the outside. What's left in the bracket is when you divide 5 by 5, you get 1. 15 divided by 5 is 3, and 5 divided by 5 is 1 at the end, okay? Now, you also have to look at the variables. We have an x to the 4, x cubed, x squared. The smallest exponent, squared, right? So I can plot x squared as well. So 5x squared, this is the greatest common factor, sits on the outside of the brackets, and what's left inside is dividing them. And remember, when you're dividing exponents, you subtract, right? So if I divide this by essentially 5x squared, 5's cancel, x4 over x2 becomes x2, okay? you divide each term by what you took out. So the 5s would, 15 divided by 5 is 3. X cubed over x squared becomes x. And divide by 5x squared. All of that cancels. Divide anything by itself, you get 1. That's why it's this. Okay? We'll practice it some more. I'll do those. Let's do these ones at the bottom here. So 20x minus 6. What is the largest number that is a common factor of 20 and 6? 2, right? So 2 goes on the outside. Are there variables in each term? No. So we can't pull out any variables. So we just put a bracket. And then get what's left inside the bracket, divide each term there, 20 and 6, by 2. So what's 20 divided by 2? 10 there. The x is still there because we didn't take it out. 6 divided by 2. 3. So, or minus 3 in this case. So that is it factored. Because if I multiply the 2 in, do I get the original back? I'd get 20x minus 6. If I multiply that in. No, this is not on the quiz. The quiz is just what we did, that little review thing. 16x to the 4 plus 4x squared. 16 and 4, largest number that goes into both. 4. x4, x squared, what can I pull out? X squared, the smallest exponent. Then you write your bracket. What's 16 divided by 4? 4. X to the 4 divided by x squared. What's that? I wrote this. X to the 4 over x squared. What does that equal? X squared. Plus, what's 4 divided by 4? Okay. What's x squared divided by x squared? 1, right? So it's just 1. No, x squared over x squared would be x0, but that's just 1, right? That's why it's a 1 there. C. Look at the numbers. 10, 8, 2. Greatest common factor is 2. A cubed, A. What can I pull out? A. B squared, B cubed, B4. All right, now you divide each term by what you took out. 10 divided by 2 is 5. A cubed over A. Essentially took 1A out. So how many A's do you have left? You have an A squared. B squared over B squared. Right. Okay, plus 8 divided by 2. A over A. No more A. You could say 1 or A to the 0, which is 1. Don't say 0 though, because you just say they're gone. B cubed over B squared. If I have 3 B's and I took out 2, how many do I have left? 1 B. Plus 2 divided by 2 is 1. A divided by A is 1, or no A's. No A's. B4 over B squared. D. 12, 6, 15. What number goes into all of them? 3. P cubed, P squared, and P. All right. What do I do? Which is 4. P cubed, and I took out 1P. P squared. 6 divided by 3. P squared over P. 15 divided by 3. 5. And if there's 1P and I took it out, there's no P's. Look for the greatest common factor in numbers. We're not doing E. Look for the smallest exponent for the variables, but the variable has to be in each term. Divide by what you took out. That's what remains in the brackets. I'd like you to do questions 4, 6, and 7, A to C. Please.